Hello everyone, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Starscream. I picked this figure up over at Amazon.com. It is available currently at the Hasbro Pulse and where all other fine giant plastic robots are sold. Starscream is a Voyager class figure and is a very good rendition of that design from the games. Head sculpt is quite good. Body sculpt is quite good as well. I honestly couldn't be happier with the face sculpt and the head sculpt. It's perfect. There's nothing I would change about it. In terms of posability, head is on a ball joint and can look way up there but can't look down at all. There is a swivel in the shoulder and then a hinge, and then there's a swivel at the upper arm, double bend at the elbow for the transformation, and the fists do rotate. There is torso articulation, but it is hampered due to the giant canopy chest thing. There is a series of hinges and swivels in the hips. There is a thigh swivel with a giant open gap there in the thigh. Bend of the knee is over 90 degrees. And then the feet have articulation in and out, not 90 degrees, which I would have loved. And the toes do collapse for the transformation. Overall, the aesthetic we end up with is quite good. I think this Starscream looks great, and I love the coloring, and it's got a really good hand feel, which a couple of the other Gamer Edition figures did not. I would say it's got the same good hand feel that Barricade does. Even though I don't like Barricade, it's a chunker. It feels good in the hands, and so does Starscream. The plastic feels very similar, which makes me wonder if they used the same, dye and plastic for the two figures. It's interesting. And Starscream, as I said, feels really good in the hands. Like, really, really good. Like, oddly good in the hands. Size comparison with Gamer Edition Prime and Gamer Edition Megatron. He's roughly the same size. Now, Starscream comes with two weapons. The first is the sniper rifle, which I used a lot in the games. It works. It looks good. Could use a little bit more touch-up paint, though. I might just do that myself. And then it comes with a giant freaking hammer that splits apart. So what's really weird is the hammer is apparently cast in a different color and then painted. It's like cast in a gold color. And I'm going to try and get a light up in there so you can see. That's not coming across. It's like this goldish yellow plastic that then is painted in this lovely Decepticon purple. And then the stick that you plug it into, like that. Now, mace sizes. Megatron's is a little bit longer, but Starscream's is definitely heftier, we'll say. Surprisingly, Starscream does not have a peg hole in his keister for a flight stand, which is odd. You're going to have to, if you want to use a flight stand, you're going to have to use one of the ones with the little grippy claws. And this is an example of what I mean, and I actually really, really like this pose. And the blast effects are the ones that came with Commander Class Ultra Magnus, so those work really well. I just love the way that this looks on a flight stand. Now, if it could stop wobbling back and forth, that'd be great. The figure has two 5mm ports on the bottom of his feet, and then two 5mm ports on his backpack. And the camera keeps zooming out. I'm sorry, I can't stop it from doing that. And those 5mm ports are specifically to hold the weapons, like that. And you can't tell me that that does not look even the least bit cool, because it does. Something else that I really appreciate about this figure is all of the joints are super tight. Not so tight that you can't move them or that they're going to break if you move them too hard, but tight enough that they can hold really heavy items with no problem. Specifically these maces. I mean, look at this. He's holding both of these maces at weird angles, and it's not moving at all. Really do appreciate that. Like all the other Gamer Edition figures, his arm, or specifically his right arm, does pull off. Thankfully, this arm is on much, 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 much tighter than the others are. Unfortunately, none of the figures or none of the weapons he comes with can really work with that arm, except the mace. You can actually plug the mace in, but it just falls right off. Darn it, I know I've got another gun around here somewhere. Hold on for a second. Here we go. Here's Prime's. We'll just get Prime's gun up on there. Yep, there we go. That works. He go pew, 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 just like in the game. All right, let's go ahead and get into the transformation. To start off with, come to the backpack, grab the backpack, and just pull it away from the figure like that. And then come to the little collar sections beside the head and fold them in like that. On the backpack, come inside, and you see these pegs, pull them out, and then you could fold the wing down on this hinge, and then grab that whole section and flip it around like that. So do the same thing on this side, like so. Grab the rear wings and fold them all the way out, reach in and flip up these little red pieces, and close them back up like that. Now, come to the chest and push the chest forward a little bit until it unpegs, and then you can rotate the whole thing up and snap it into place like so, reach inside and flip out the nose cone. Oddly enough, getting this nose cone out is a lot harder than you might think. You're going to need some nails or a spudger. And then we've got Starscream Gerwalk mode. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me fold that down. There we go. That's the closest Gerwalk mode we've gotten yet. Yes, nailed it. So, dummy me. Once you have the chest pushed away from the body, open up the canopy and flip out the nose cone under there. Then turn the head around 180 degrees, grab it and flip it up, and it will fit into, I gotta straighten that head out, and it'll fit into the cockpit like that. Then we flip the nose cone out and flip it all the way up and flip it all the way back like that. Yay! Next thing we're going to do is take the arms and point them straight up, then unpeg them and hinge them all the way down into the belly, like that. Turn the lower arms and elbows so that the pins are pointing towards the bottom, and then hinge them like this. So you want the elbows to be hinged in a Tetris piece fashion. And then turn them so that they come underneath the body, and they will fit right up into that area and peg in together. And it does require a little bit of, not trickery, but a little bit of futzing. Now, one thing I have found is if the hands are like right up against each other with the thumbs right up against each other, they will not be able to peg in together. And we just kind of leave that way that is. Coming down to the legs, split the legs apart and come inside the inner leg and unpeg this panel. That will then allow you to unpeg the leg. I don't know if you could see that, but there is a hinge bar in there. You hinge that down and hinge the leg down and peg them into place, and then close the panel up on the bottom like that. And I forgot to mention, toe. Just fold up the toe. Do the same thing on the other side. Hinge that out, rotate that up, and get that all the way up in there. And sometimes this doesn't do what you want it to. There we go. And just point that straight down like that. And then we can take the backpack and fold it down. And if you did everything right, there should be plenty of clearance for the backpack to fit just in front or behind the shoulders, and the wing section will drop between the leg and the shoulders. And then come to the back, and there are these little peg slots, these little slots on the back of the feet, or the back of the lower legs, that will then peg into the backpack, like that. And we're done. That's it. Overall, the alt mode it's okay. It's just okay. It feels a little bit longer than it should be, but I don't have that original Generations figure with me at this point. I honestly, I have no idea where that thing is. I could not tell you. Oh, and last thing I forgot. Turn the wings around. Whoops. Derp. Yeah, it's okay. I hate the fact that the robot hands are just hanging out down here. And I really dislike the fact that there's this opening up top. I don't know what they could have done here. Maybe if they had more plastic to fold out and then cover up the hands, The thing that's really weird is the way this is configured. There are peg holes here and pegs here. It feels like there was a piece, or there is a piece missing. It feels like there is a piece that was supposed to go over top here, covering the hands, and then filling in this whole section underneath. Other than that, I think the jet mode's fine. It's obviously there's a robot sticking out underneath, but I really do appreciate the Decepticon emblems pointing the right direction. But then when you transform the figure, the Decepticon emblem on the wings is pointing in that direction. So that is very smart. Now let's put it on a flight stand and see what it looks like. Before we move on, though, here's what the weapons look like attached to the alt mode. The gun makes sense. The mace, not so much. Maybe it just needs to be spikier. Let's see. Does the spiky... Oh, the spiky mace won't even go on here. Hold on, let me see. Can I turn this a little bit? No, I can't. Shoot. Okay, well then. Nope, that doesn't even work. Darn it. Now, the flight stand that I have works really well with this mold because it could just get in there and just grab onto the middle of the jet section. And you can have a really nice little display piece of the jet coming in for an attack. And, since it's a Starscream, you could always turn it so that he's running away. Overall, I do like this figure. I think it's fun. It is flawed in the alt mode, though. But it's not the end of the world. I'm really thinking that maybe there were pieces that were left out of the final design to cut cost, which, given the way Hasbro's been lately, does not or would not surprise me in the least bit. Oh, and it could totally, I forgot to mention, it could totally do the pooth. It could totally pooth. Yeah, it can. Anywho, is this worth adding to your collection? Yeah, I think so. And I would really actually like to see a Skywarp and a Thundercracker. The build of the figure is nice, and the plastic feels good, and the paint apps are done pretty darn well. So I would like to see this whole mold done with those color schemes. I think that would be very cool. Will it happen? I'm going to guess no, but it would be cool if they did. I know that Gamer Edition Sideswipe and Sunstreaker have been revealed via leaks, and that's fine. I like Sunstreaker. I think Sunstreaker looks cool. Sideswipe looks like... The Sideswipe just looks bad. I'm sorry. If you like it, that's great. It's not for me. But I want more Decepticons. Can we please have some more Decepticons? Because there's got to be more than just Megatron, Barricade, Starscream, and, well, we haven't gotten Soundwave yet. And he was that weird buggy that could then turn into a boombox in the second game. So, yeah, we've got at least one more figure coming. We'll have to see what the rest of the Gamer Edition line brings for us. But otherwise, yeah, this is worth picking up. At least I think so. So, folks, let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
I'm Mini Ball. Have a good day.